Near a peaceful cove on the western shore of England in the 18th century stood a tiny hamlet. On the outskirts of this hamlet, my father kept the Admiral Benbow Inn. Poor father. He died soon after the old seaman with the saber cut first took up lodging under our roof, leaving my mother and me to care for the inn as best we could. My name is Jim Hawkins. I'll tell you the whole story about Treasure Island from beginning to end, keeping nothing back but the bearings of the island. And that only because there is still treasure not yet lifted. I remember as if it were yesterday. Whew. At about 3 o'clock of a bitter, foggy, frosty afternoon,
will any kind friend inform a poor blind man just where he may be?
Why, Black Hill Cove, sir.
I hear a voice. I hear a young voice. Tell me, my kind young friend, where is the Admiral Benbow Inn?
Why, right here, sir.
Have I reached the Benbow, then? Ha! Blind Pew has made it after all. And tell me, my boy, is there a lodger here with a long scar upon his cheek?
Indeed there is, sir. You must mean the captain, Mr. Bones. He's our only lodger, and he's here now.
Oh?
Yes, sir.
Take me inside. Now, boy, you take me to this Captain Bones, and you be quick.
15 men on a dead man's chest. Yo, ho, ho, and a bottle of rum, my mates.
Here's a friend for you.
Friend, what friend?
Hello, Bill.
Why, it's Blind Pew.
Stay where you are, Bill. I can hear a finger stirring. Don't move. Boy, take me over to the captain because I have a message to put into his hand. You've got it, and now my business is done, Bill.
Now, what on earth was that all about, Captain?
All this time, I thought I was safe here at the Admiral Benbow, but there's no hiding from Blind Pew and the man with the wooden leg. There's no hiding from anyone who sailed with Captain Flint.
Captain Flint, sir? Captain Flint the pirate?
10 o'clock. I have till 10 o'clock.
Captain! Captain! Captain!
Jim, in my room there's a trunk. Hide it. Blind Pew will come at 10. He'll have a bunch of cutthroats with him, and they'll be looking for a pouch in the trunk, a pouch with a secret so great that to find it, they'll stop at nothing. Don't you let them find that pouch.
No, I'll hide it.
Good lad.
The captain was dead, killed by a stroke. That night, Mother and I went to the room he had occupied so long. Some of the man's money, if he had any, was certainly due to us. I opened the trunk. There beneath an old boat cloth lay an oilskin packet. It seemed to hold papers. No sooner had I found it than...
Open this door. Open it, I say. Break the blasted door down.
That's Billy Bones, and he's dead.
Up. Go search the upstairs.
The trunk's open. Someone speed us to it.
It's these people of the inn. That boy. Scatter, lads, and find them.
Search as they may, they would not find the oilskin packet. I had picked it up and fled with poor Mother. We went to the home of our trusted friend, Squire Trelawney. A servant showed us to the library where the squire, a respected man of means, was spending the evening with a visitor, Dr. Livesey.
Found this in his trunk, did you?
Yes, Squire. I believe it has something to do with Captain Flint.
The bloodthirstiest buccaneer that sailed.
Mr. Livesey was both a doctor and a magistrate. He examined the book removed from the oilskin.
I can't make heads or tails of this. It seems to be the man's account book. He had lots of money.
Undoubtedly, the man was a pirate. He buried some treasure in an island, and this map shows where. Flint's treasure, I'll wager.
That's what Pew was after. The buried treasure.
Treasure? How say you, Squire?
The squire decided to sail immediately. And I'm to come on as cabin boy? Really? Yay! Soon after, Dr. Livesey and I joined Squire Trelawney in Bristol. The squire had bought a schooner, the Hispaniola, and she was ready to sail.
Getting a crew aboard was easy when they heard we were sailing for treasure.
You do not hold your tongue. You should not have spoken of treasure. That's dangerous.
Don't be concerned, Livesey. The crew was hired by a splendid chap I met, John Silver.
I'm going to help them. Ugh. Whoa!
Avast, mate. What way is that to hoist cargo?
What?
Here.
Thank you.
If you keep doing things like that, boy, you'll never be a sailor.
I'm Jim Hawkins, sir, and what's your name?
I'll introduce you, Jim. That's Long John Silver. He's coming on board as ship's cook. The men who've sailed with Silver call him Barbecue. How we'd have put this voyage together without his invaluable help, I'm sure I don't know.
Well, I'm pleased to make your acquaintance, I'm sure. And now, gentlemen, let me present another member of the crew. My parrot, Captain Flint, named after the famous old pirate.
Pieces of 8. Pleased to meet you, sir. Captain Flint.
We'll get along splendid. Nobody more welcome than yourself, my son.
A little before dawn, the boatswain sounded his pipe, and the Hispaniola had begun her voyage to the Isle of Treasure. All was so new, so interesting to me. All the crew respected and even obeyed Silver. He was most kind, always glad to see me in the galley. We had some heavy weather, which only proved the qualities of the Hispaniola. Now, just after sundown, when all my work was over, I crawled into the apple barrel and had either fallen asleep or was on the point of doing so.
Till the last moment, that's when. The squire and the doctor have the map. Let them find the treasure and help us get it aboard. By the powers. If I was sure of you all, I'd have the captain navigate us halfway back again before I struck.
When we do strike, what do we do with the honest hands?
Put 'em ashore. Leave 'em marooned. Or Captain Flint and Billy Bones' way. Cut 'em down like pork. Dead men don't bite. Only one thing I claim. I claim Trelawney. I'll take care of him with my own hands. When the time comes, watch out.
Silver, a pirate!
Land ho!
Have we arrived at Treasure Island? We dropped anchor in the South Cove, and I told Dr. Livesey, the squire, and the captain what I had overheard. They agreed that the wisest thing was to act for the moment as though nothing had happened, to send ashore a party of trusted men and Silver's henchmen, all led by Silver himself. In the first of my wild ideas that helped save our lives, I had curled up in the nearest boat.
Jim, how did you get here, lad? Come back! Jim!
It turned out that Silver had been here before, with Captain Flint. But for me, this was a new adventure. For the first time, I felt the joy of exploration. Out of there, you! Come out! Who are you? Who are you?
Ben Gunn. I'm poor Ben Gunn, I am. I haven't spoke with a man these 3 years, but you listen to me, lad. I'm rich. You'll bless your stars, you will. You are the first that found me.
3 years earlier, this buccaneer who once sailed with Captain Flint had been left marooned, put ashore with a little powder and shot. When he saw our ship at anchor, he thought it was Captain Flint returning. It's not Flint's ship, I said, and Flint is dead. But there are some of Flint's hands aboard. He knew Long John Silver and feared him.
I'm not a gentleman of fortune anymore, Jim. I'm a good man, see? Now maybe the squire, being in a pickle himself, could use the service of Ben Gunn in exchange for safe passage home.
They've started a fight. What's that, Ben?
Ha. That's the stockade built years ago by old Captain Flint himself. Those are your friends there for sure, boy. You see that flag? If it was silver, he'd fly the Jolly Roger.
Good. Then we'll join them. Come along.
Nay, mate, not till I see that your born gentleman friends can be trusted.
All right, but how shall I ever be able to find you again, Ben?
Well, lad, when Ben Gunn is wanted, you may find him where you found him today. Same spot. Him that wants Ben is to carry a white thing. And by the way, Jim, a canoe I built is hidden behind a white rock on the east shore. Yours to use, Jim.
Thank you, Ben. Be seeing you.
Take care, Jim.
Ha! Dr. Livesey, Squire Trelawney.
Hawkins, thank goodness you're alive.
Jim.
They had barely escaped Silver's henchmen guarding them on the Hispaniola. I listened to their story, then told them mine of how I'd hidden in one of the boats, how I eluded Silver and ended the strange meeting with Ben Gunn.
We noticed you were gone, Jim, and feared for your safety as well as our own. And that's when we decided to load a boat with supplies and risk a run to this stockade, which is indicated on the map.
Unfortunately, Silver's men got wind of what we were up to and started firing upon us with muskets aboard ship and cannon as we fled. Silver fired at us from shore.
The squire's a good shot, got many of them, but we lost a few ourselves.
How many of Silver's men are here upon the island, Doctor?
From 19, they're down to 15. 2 others were wounded. Rum and the climate are on our side.
How many hands are still on guard aboard the Hispaniola?
2, both loyal to Silver. Must have killed themselves in a drunken brawl by now. By the way, how well do you know this fellow Ben Gunn?
Huh?
Can he be trusted?
I thought about Silver. I had trusted him, too. How wrong I was. Dr. Livesey off to see Ben Gunn, if I was right. I began to get another notion into my head. I would find the white rock on the east coast and see whether the boat that Ben Gunn had mentioned was there. Well, now I had another notion. Cut the Hispaniola adrift. Let her go ashore. The mutineers had nothing nearer their hearts than to up anchor and sail to sea. This, I thought, would be a fine thing to prevent. The Hispaniola was in the North Inlet, out of sight. Doctor? Squire Trelawney? I'm back.
Wow! Piece of the way! Piece of the way! So here's Jim Hawkins. Shiver me timbers, just dropped in.
Where is everybody?
Dr. Livesey came down with a flag of truce and says, Captain Silver, the ship's gone. So let's bargain. We'll leave you everything. Including this.
Captain Flint's map of the island.
Aye, mate, you can't go back to your own lot. They've deserted you. So you'll have to join up with Captain Silver's company.
So Silver, you're in a bad way. Yes, you have the treasure map, but you can't get back home without the ship, and I've hidden the ship in a place where you'll never find her. I have the upper hand, not you. Spare me and I'll speak on your behalf when you come to trial for piracy.
What? By thunder, I'll put an end to this. Batten your hatches. Now then, I like the boy. He stays around as one of us.
A mistake?
No mistake, you may lay to that. No man is to lay a hand on the boy. Captain Silver still commands this ship. You'll all obey me. And now the business of this night is done. Sleep, my buckos. We begin the treasure hunt tomorrow.
I was horribly cast down. A one-legged man and a boy against these strong, active seamen. And the mystery of my friends, their unexplained desertion of the stockade, giving the treasure map to Silver. Spyglass Hill is the highest on the island. The map said tall tree, Spyglass Shoulder, bearing to a point north of north-northeast. But there were many tall trees.
I can't tell which blasted tree Captain Flint intended.
Someone's there.
Under that tall tree.
A seaman, that's good sea cloth.
I know the position the bones lie in. Unnatural. I thought so. This here's a pointer toward the Pole Star and the Jolly Dollars.
This is Flint's joke. You may be sure of that. Use a man for a pointer.
If Flint was still living, this would be a hot spot for you and me. 6 men went with him, now they're just bones.
Flint's dead, his spirit gone below. But if ever spirit walked, 'twould be Captain Flint.
Now stow this bilge. He's dead and spirits don't walk by day.
This island was known as Skeleton Island. In spite of staring daylight, the terror of the dead buccaneer had fallen on the spirits of the men.
Wait, do you hear something? No, just the birds in the wind.
15 men on a dead man's chest. Yo, and a bottle of rum.
Oh, it's Flint!
I tell you, it's the spirit of Flint.
Ah, spirit nothing, men. Someone flesh and blood, you may lay to that.
Darby McGraw, Darby McGraw, fetch half the rum, Darby McGraw.
They was Flint's last words. His last words above board.
That fixes it. Let's go!
Shipmates, we all came to get old Flint's treasure. I'll not be beat by him. Let's go. Onward.
I knew that voice, and I think Silver did too. It belonged to none other than Ben Gunn.
There's where the treasure lies, me lads. 700,000 pounds in gold.
Come on, Dave!
Someone got here before us and dug up the treasure. Stand by for trouble, Jim.
Oh.
Look here. Here's a piece of gold for you. 2 guineas. Is that your 700,000-pound treasure, Silver? Now, look, mates, there's 2 of them there. The peg-leg that blundered us into this. The other's that cub that I mean to have the heart of. And now, mates.
Silver!
I tell you, mates, that man there knew it all along. Look at his face. You'll see it right there. Now...
Doctor! Ben Gunn!
Hello, Jim. The wound is superficial. Be all right.
What made you protect me, Silver?
I'm not sure, lad. Maybe it's because I saw a bit of myself in ye the first time we met.
I'm grateful, Silver. Dr. Livesey, why do you suppose the treasure is no longer here?
When I slipped away from the stockade and met Ben Gunn, he told me he had accidentally discovered the treasure site, and little by little he had removed the treasure to his own cave.
I see. That's why you didn't mind giving the treasure map to Silver. The squire was waiting for us at the entrance to Ben Gunn's cave.
I'm delighted you've returned to us safe and sound, young man. Welcome. The treasure's just inside.
Ah, the treasure! We're rich!
Up anchor!
With Ben Gunn and his treasure aboard, and having left food and supplies behind for the mutineers who had run off, we sailed out of North Inlet. Silver, when we get back to Black Hill, I'm gonna write down the whole story of our journey to Treasure Island. And you and your peer, Captain Flint, will be part of the tale, of course.
But you better keep the location of the island secret. There's still some treasure that hasn't been dug out.
Pieces of eight! Ah, pieces of eight!
His ship wrecked in a storm, a sailor by the name of Gulliver crawled ashore and promptly fell asleep on the beach of a strange island. As he slept, the people of the island came to stare at him. People no different from you and me, except for the fact that the tallest of them was only 2 inches high. Gulliver was tied down by rope the thickness of strong thread. Before long, Gulliver awoke and jerked his left arm up sharply. He was about to do the same with his right arm when a shower of arrows, like so many pins, hit him in the side of the face. He watched as one of the soldiers, who clearly wanted a medal for bravery, steadily marched across his chest, climbing over the wrinkles of Gulliver's coat. When he was close enough, the soldier fitted an arrow into his bow and took aim at Gulliver's left eye. Not wanting to hurt the little man, Gulliver gently blew on him, which to the soldier felt like a hurricane. Now Gulliver lay still, looking in amusement at his tiny captors. Although he could easily have broken the threads holding him, Gulliver remained without moving, for he was interested in the little people and wanted to learn more about them. Meanwhile, a large platform was wheeled alongside of him, and through the use of cranes and pulleys, he found himself lifted onto the platform and carted away. At the palace, Gulliver met the king and learned that he was in the land of Lilliput. The king marched to within an inch of Gulliver's nose and spoke in a royal voice, which to Gulliver sounded more like a royal whisper.
You are now one of my subjects and must obey my every command.
After giving his solemn promise that he would do no harm, Gulliver was untied. A great shout of excitement came from the people as they gazed up at the visitor, who stood taller than their tallest buildings. At a motion from the king, Gulliver picked him up and held him close to his ear. The king said to Gulliver,
I give you permission to move freely about the countryside, so long as you are careful where you put your feet.
So Gulliver remained in the country of Lilliput for many months, and gradually the Lilliputians grew accustomed to looking up and seeing him suddenly towering over them. He was of great help to the little people, lifting huge stones for building walls and other construction, and reporting to the king on the exact size of his kingdom, which he measured by pacing off steps around the island. In return, the king ordered new clothes to be made for Gulliver, and 200 tailors went to work on the job. The king also put 300 cooks to the task of keeping Gulliver supplied with food, while 30 servants kept him supplied with wine for his meals. The time passed pleasantly, and Gulliver was much interested in the customs of the tiny people and had many adventures with them. Then one day, the king told Gulliver that he should assist the Lilliputians in their annual war against the people of the neighboring island, the country of Blefuscu.
A very rebellious people,
The king went on.
who have refused to obey the law that states that when breaking an egg, the small end must be cracked first. Obviously, there is no choice but to declare war.
The opposing armies and navies were drawn up for battle. The men, horses, cannons, and ships readied. Learning that the Blefuscans were planning an invasion, Gulliver hit upon a plan for stopping them, for he did not want his new friends hurt. Wading across the channel of water that separated the two islands, Gulliver gathered up the anchor chains of the Blefuscan ships, towed the entire fleet back across the channel, and so frightened both armies that the war was ended before it started. Soon after, when a full-sized rowboat was washed up upon the shore, Gulliver decided it was time for him to return to his own country. With great skill, the Lilliputians sewed 100 bed sheets together to make Gulliver a sail for the boat, and gave him food and drink to last a month. When the time came for Gulliver's departure, the king and the entire population of Lilliput came down to the beach to see him off. The king presented Gulliver with his own sword as a souvenir, and Gulliver in turn gave the king his pocket watch to put in the tower of the town hall. And then, with a final wave, Gulliver set sail and took his leave of the little people of Lilliput.